This conference will now be recorded.
So all of these guys, they are from India or US?
I'm from India.
Who? Praneeth.
Yes. Yes.
Rajesh?
This is Rajesh. I'm from US.
Rajesh is from US.
Yes.
Okay, got it. And Saif is from India. Okay. Lakshmi, she's from India or?
Yeah, she's from India.
Okay, okay.
Even she's also like SCM consultant. Okay, she don't have SAP experience.
No SAP experience. Okay. Okay, when she joins, we'll come to know about her. Okay, so let me introduce myself. My name is Ram. I have a lot of experience in SAP, and even before that, I have a lot of functional / business experience. Okay. I have total SAP experience of 24 years. Long back, I started in year 2000. In the last 10 years, I have been implementing SAP TM in various multi-industries in US. Okay. That is a little bit background about me. I am presently settled in US, like for almost like last 20 years. So that is the background. I have a lot of experience in SAP TM with a lot of big implementations, sidecar as well as embedded TM with the latest of 2022 version S4. Okay, that is about me. We'll keep talking about experience and other stuff as we go on. Okay. Is Lakshmi on the call?
Ram, she is able to hear us, but she is unable to unmute it seems.
She is unable to talk. Okay, no problem. So this is a training which we have scheduled here. So I'll go through all the concepts in training. So even the non-experienced people also should be able to get the feel and touch of SAP TM, and I think some of you do not have any SAP experience. So basically, you will understand what SAP is, how SAP works, what kind of ERP, what are the competitors. So you will be able to understand whole scenarios. Okay. And I'm quite open to like mutual discussions instead of like one way of training. I would like to encourage you also keep asking questions, and you can stop me anytime, any point of time. If you are in the middle of a presentation also, you can stop us. Okay, good. Any questions?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
Ram. You're good.
Okay, so let me quickly share my screen and we'll go through that. Just one second. So please confirm once you see my screen. Okay. Okay, 1 minute. It is asking about giving permissions from my laptop. I think now it should be good. Actually, I have to restart to share the presentation. Give me 1 minute, okay? I'll join in a moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I am back. So do you have to give permission, Naveen, for me?
Already I made you present. Let me do one thing. Let me represent you again. One sec.
Yeah, it is asking me to open system preferences.
Did you got an pop-up now?
Yeah, 1 second. It's again asking system preferences. 1 second. I'll read. Okay, I'm back. Let me try one more time. Yeah, Naveen, it's
Yeah.
not asking. Yeah. Okay. Now we can see it. 1 second. Okay, I'm trying to share. Can you guys see my screen? Hello.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. You can see it.
Okay. So I'm going through these contents, but I'm pretty much flexible because we have a couple of people who do not have SAP experience at all. Okay. So this is roughly what is the overall contents of the training. I'll quickly go through that, but anyway, as I said, I'm quite flexible. I have experience in SAP, as I said, in all the modules. Okay. So basically, when you talk about SAP TM, so let me step back and give you a little bit introduction here. SAP TM is nothing but it is. Can you guys mute if you are not talking? Perfect. Thank you. So SAP TM is one of the modules because SAP has a lot of modules. SAP is like an ocean. Okay. So it has a lot of modules within itself. So SAP TM is, you can say it is one of the recently added modules. Okay. When I started long time back in year 2000 at the time, there was only like for this particular thing, there was the basic module of SAP materials management. Okay. Then later on materials management, in materials management, we have two components, basic two primary components. One is the purchasing, second is the inventory management. So purchasing talks about how to procure materials. I mean, direct materials, indirect materials, and there are lots of types of materials, how to procure all the material. It talks about all that. Then once you receive those materials, how to store them, that is taken care by the inventory management. So that is the primary thing which started long time back. Then later on what happened, the purchasing also divided into multiple modules like supplier relationship management, SRM. Then we have Ariba, so many other modules. It is divided into like that. Then when you come to IM, inventory management, that again also divided into multiple modules to cater different global demands. For example, it has been divided initially with the primary thing, which is warehouse management. Then it has been further enhanced to EWM, extended warehouse management. So this is like there are a lot of changes has been incorporated in this SAP as time goes on. So we have MM. Within the MM, we have purchasing and IM. Within IM, we have EWM on stuff. Then between MM and SD, there is a component called logistics integration. So logistic integration takes care of how do you receive the whole process and how do you send the goods out of your factory or your premises. So that is called called in SAP as logistic integration, TRA, transportation. That was way back in R3. So within logistic integration, we have shipping, shipment, pricing, costing, all those components in that. So later on in the roughly in the year of 2005 or 2006, that has been expanded and divided into the transport management, which has a separate module itself. So when it started as a sidecar. So what do you mean by sidecar? Sidecar is referred as a separate system in SAP itself. So initial days, SAP ECC. ECC was one system, and there is a separate system called SCM, supply chain management. Okay, within supply chain management, we have all these modules like EWM, TM, and various other modules like SRM is a separate box there. So these two boxes were interlinked. So that is called sidecar. Then later on in from like 7 years back, there is a concept called embedded systems. Embedded systems means everything will be under one platform like SAP EWM, SAP Transport Management, EHS, GRS, GRC, all the modules come into one single platform so that the management and maintenance of those things would become easier. So currently, as far as I know, most of the projects are based in single landscape. That means all are mostly embedded TM only. There is no implementations happening for sidecar, except there is some support happening. But whoever is implementing new projects, they would be going with SAP TM with embedded version. Okay. I would like to give a pause here and let me know if you have any doubts until this point.
No, Ram.
We are good. People are quite. So you guys need to talk, okay?
Sure, Ram.
Okay, so let me go through this index quickly. So the first one is SAP S4HANA Transportation Management Introduction. So it talks about what is the overview and industry practices. What are the things, I mean, from the global industry, like it talks about what are the scenarios. Like in the scenarios, for example, you have shipper scenario, you have LSP scenario. So in various scenarios. So quickly, let me introduce what is shipper scenario, what is LSP scenario. Shipper scenario is implemented by those industries who produce goods. Okay, there is an industry which ABC industry which produces lot of goods, and they ship them out of their facility. That is the first scenario. And also they receive materials, I mean raw materials or semi-finished materials from outside to make the end product. So for these two scenarios, how do you receive them? How do you send it out? So that whole thing is captured in TM. So that is called shipper scenario. Then there is a second scenario, LSP, logistic services provider. So basically logistic services providers are like FedEx, USPs, DHL, Cathay Pacific, or Union Pacific. These are bigger companies. Basically what these guys are, these are simply to say they are only carriers, meaning they move products from one place to other place. Like you are, you know that the FedEx moves cargoes or packets one place to another place. So to track them, SAP has a methodology which is called LSP scenarios. So these both are entirely different. But as far as the industry goes, 70% is shipper scenarios and 30% is, I can say, 25% is LSP scenarios, and 5% have both of them together. I have seen a couple of implementations where we have shipper scenario as well as LSP scenario. Okay. Then we have, it's talking about shipper and LSP scenario. Then mode of operation, SAP TM, solution architecture. So I'll go slow on these things because we have new SAP people. So I would like to explain what is SAP, what is architecture of SAP instead of what is SAP TM architecture. I will show how this works, like what is the master data management on overall SAP, what is the SPRO? SPRO is a T code used to go into configuration, and configuration nothing but set of keys by which a functional consultant goes in and tweak the product, the SAP product, to make it suitable for the industry. So that is what SPRO or IMG is called. Okay, I will explain all those one by one. Then going down, there is difference between organization structure setup for shipper scenario, LSP scenario, purchase or purchasing group. I mean, it is very difficult to understand very high level right now. These are like purchasing organization, purchasing group. These are the setup coming from module. Okay. Then we have how to set up these things in the system. Sales org. Sales org is basically, this is called sales area. Sales org, sales office, and sales group consists of a sales area. Okay. Then going down, we have a lot of other stuff like sales order integration scenario. These are the sub integration scenarios happening from TM to S4HANA to TM. So basically, it could be like simple sales order scenario where you create a sales order and sales order gets converted into a freight unit goes into TM. From there, how it processes on from freight order, FSD, all those things. So basically in this, there are three basic scenarios. One is a sales order integration. The other one is delivery based integration. Third was PO based integration. Okay, three basic scenarios. Then there is something called control key concept and LSP, logistic integration. Various settings are there. I will show all those of them. Okay. Then we have this forwarding quotation is of LSP scenario. Then how to estimate charges. Okay. Then there is something called capacity management. Capacity management is nothing but like a scenario explained in a shipper scenario, that industry or that company may be having some trucks or some resources, how they are going to use them. That is what it talks about capacity management. Okay. And how are you going to schedule the train or cargoes on air? These are all comes into capacity management under resources. Okay. Then we are going to cover all this freight unit management, how the freight units are getting created from S4. Then there is called FUBR rules, freight unit building rules, basically. That is here. It is a very deep subject, actually. You have to go into and understand one by one. Okay. Then the freight unit gets converted into freight order. That could be manually, you can do it, or you can do by cockpit. There are various ways of managing the freight unit to a freight order. It's basically talking about how do you do the manual planning or automatic planning or semi-automatic planning. Behind that, we have a lot of conditions and planning profiles and configuration. It talks about cockpit, how to control the total page layout. Okay. So then we have this carrier selection subcontracting. Basically, it talks about if you have like so many carriers, like this shipper guy is moving a product from A to B, then he has a choice of selection, like 1, 2, 3, 4 carriers are there. So how the system is going to select which carrier based upon what? Based upon price or based upon certain other conditions and so on. And sometimes what happens, these guys will have their own resources in their own containers, own trucks. Okay. Sometimes they ran out of their capacity or they do not have any resources. In that scenario, they give that as subcontracting. That is the meaning of subcontracting. But do not confuse this subcontract with subcontracting. So that is entirely different subcomponent in But this subcontracting is subcontracting the movement of the goods to outside party, third party. That is what it is called. Then integration of service order is nothing but if you are moving a component or a big container from one place to other place, there are other additional charges, like there are charges of cleaning the container or defuming the container or some additional taxes. There are various things, demurrage charges, various things comes into picture. So when those are there, that can be taken into account as a service order. Service order can be an independent order, or it can be attached to a freight order. Both are possible here. Okay. Then moving on, we have transportation execution control monitoring. So basically, execution is once you have planned the freight with the freight order, then the next thing is how you are going to execute it. Execution is you have to move the truck out of your facility and send it to the customer or wherever. So here you are going to integrate the EWM and where the handling unit is managed. From there, you are going to maybe you can use LBN or any other outside system to track and monitor the events so that they can come back and capture in respective freight orders. So this is basically execution of documents. There are a lot of configuration behind these also. Okay. Then there is something called discrepancy. Sometimes the customer won't receive the cargo. There are some damages happen to the cargo. So that is what is called discrepancy management and discrepancy concept. Okay. This is what PPF concept. I will explain this also going down the lane. Meaning PPF concept is nothing but how you are going to generate the outputs. Okay, generate the outputs from the system point of view. Either you want to send it by email or PDF, or like you want to send it to LBN, Logistic Business Network. What are the settings required? So that is the talking about PPF. Okay. Then the big component and very important component is the charge management. Charge management is how you get the charges automatically in a freight order. Meaning you have to set up your starting from your freight agreement, calculation sheets, rate tables, and you have your conditions behind, and there's a lot of master data also involved. So once you have all that, it should automatically come into your corresponding transaction document, which is nothing but your freight order. Okay, then it should flow to your freight settlement document also. So that is basically on the charge management piece. Okay. Then the other important piece here, settlement process. Settlement process is very important piece because SAP TM does not have any accounting component in itself. So it depends solely on the backend. Backend is nothing but S4. So it uses mostly the portion and the logistic verification system to create the documents. So whenever an FSD is created, it's a freight settlement document is created, then it pushes the data to S4HANA to create SAP purchase order, which is nothing but a service purchase order, then followed by a service entry sheet. And for that, we need to have a lot of setting in place, like service orders and configuration, validation classes. Once you have all that, the respective documents gets created in the backend. Okay, then it is followed by logistics integration, which is part of AP process in SAP. Okay, then there is something else after this also. After settlement, there is some component called settlement management document, which used to be called earlier as ABD, agency business document. That is also a very important document because it distributes the costing of the freight into various SAP elements so that they can track into different buckets. Okay. Then finally, we'll also go through what is, because SAP is tightly integrated with EWM. So we'll have small introduction on how EWM is constructed, what is the connection between EWM and TM, how to send the loading instructions, and so on and so forth. BW or business warehouse management we also use, because nowadays most of the reports are served by SAP TM itself, and if at all further enhanced reports are required, we'll take the help of BW, or we take the help of Rise of W objects. That is nothing but taking the help from technical team to create a report or to create a customized work list in SAP, because SAP TM provides a lot of work lists. For example, freight unit work list, freight order work list, forwarding order work list, freight settlement document. There are so many documents available out of the box, but if there is a requirement, we can customize those also. Okay, We are now at the time. So do you have any further questions or clarifications?
There is any integration between SAP SD and TM?
Sorry, I couldn't. There is any integration between?
SAP SD and TM.
Yeah, that is the first thing we talked about. Like if I go back, so this is the sales order scenario. That is what you talked about. So that's a fundamental scenario. How the sales order, when you create, how it gets integrated to TM. So when it integrates to TM in an embedded scenario, it creates a freight unit. That is integration. To happen that, we have to have a lot of configuration in terms of logistics integration profile and control parameters in the back end. Okay. Once we do that, then it goes into TM and creates a freight unit.
Okay, there is one more question. Like what I'm aware of, that EWM has a separate access. Means EWM has a separate module for means if we want to connect between the normal SAP and EWM, then we need to connect this with the some kind of queues, right? So what about the TM? TM is also a separate thing that we used in the.
Yeah, I mean, my only request here is please give your name when you talk about. Are you Rajesh?
No, Pranit.
Pranay, because for the initial few days it will be difficult. Pranay. So SAP TM and EWM are, they are entirely different pieces. Okay, to start, because EWM you can work from totally from the background, meaning from SAP S4 you can go through the T codes. I mean, without going into the front end, you can go to the back end and do all your transactions. But SAP TM requires you have to go into the Fury apps. Okay, you need to go to the
Okay.
Fury apps to access the freight orders, freight management, all the other documents. There is no way you can access to these applications from the back end through a simple T code. So that's the biggest difference between EWM and TM. Okay, so EWM has different concepts, but TM has entirely different concept.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
Hi, Ram. Just wanted to ask, like, for integration with the of TM, SAP TM with the non-SAP, like, it will be the same process, like integration with of TM with EWM.
No, it depends upon these are called plugin devices. Okay, like Ship ERP. There are various things we can integrate, like LBN also we can integrate. There are various plugin devices, plugin softwares we can integrate to SAP. Okay, so how do we integrate them? We have to take the help of basis and security, where to integrate and give a lot of permissions for them for these components or software to come into SAP. Okay, and wherever it, for example, you have to integrate some ASN documents, then the basis guys will do the right thing. Then we'll map those fields to TM if needed. Okay, it all depends based upon the requirement.
Okay.
I mean, for starters also, I'll go slow so that you guys will understand, because this SAP TM terminology and all, this is too complicated for a starter. Okay. Any questions from the starters? Lakshmi, can you talk now? Okay. Any questions from the whole group?
No, nothing from my side right now.
Okay.
Just wanted to ask if, as you said, we need to do all things on Fiori application. So if we get the access of the TM, then we can use that application Fiori there.
Yes, correct. That's what we have to do. Once we get the access, then we can go through all this. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, I mean, once we form the group, everything, then you guys can get access to all the systems. Okay. Are you hearing me?
Yes, Mr. Vinay.
Yes.
Yeah. So based upon that, then you get access to both systems. I mean, it is not one. So you get access to SAP main backend, which is nothing but you can input for each and everything. You have to input a T code like SPRO, so on and so forth, VA03 also. So you go to different transactions from SAP TM. We use backend basically for configuration. Okay, and to check any documents from MM or SD. For example, you want to check any purchase order or any outbound delivery or any sales order. For that, you go back and look into that. But again, from the Fury also, you can click on a hyperlink, which will also ultimately take you there. But for the rest, 90%, 95%, we mostly use the Fury apps in TM. Okay.
Okay.
Any further questions? Please go ahead.
No.
Do you have a question, A3? I think, Naveen, I think we are looking good here.
Any other queries, Praneeth, Rajesh, Saif?
No.
Okay. I'll check with Lakshmi if she's having any queries. I'll put on the WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Ram. Thanks for the demo.
Thank you, whole team. Thank you, Naveen.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Ram.
Satish, can you let us know about your expectation from this training?
So as you said, I just want to get into SAP. Like till now, I am into management roles. I just want to get into IT. My age is 36 as of now. I don't know whether I can do this now or not. It's just a query.
So what was your query? Can you repeat, please?
My age is 36 as of now. Okay. At this point of time, I want to change my career to IT. Actually, this SAP modules like SAP TM modules. So I can change, right?
Age is not a restriction at all.
Yeah.
I know one of my friend who joined SAP at the age of 37 years.
Yeah.
So it all depends upon how much interest you are going to put and how much effort you can take. Okay, age is not a big deal, Satish, okay?
Okay.
So Satish, you are already into Blue Dot Fleet Manager. You want to learn SAP. Okay. That too particularly TM. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's move on to Chirag. What is your ambition from this training?
Actually, like I want to align myself more towards SD and transportation side. So, and TM is the new module, and I want to learn more. So, I'm seeing the more scope in the future.
So Chirag, right now, what experience you have in TM, sir, SAP?
I have experience with SD and MM.
You have experience with SG. And how many years you have?
Total of 3 years of experience.
A total of 3 years. Very
Yeah.
good. So overall, we
I have
have
experience also on PP a little bit.
PP is not going to help much from TM side, but
Yeah.
MM and SD should be useful.
Mhm.
So Saif, do you have a SAP, SD and MM knowledge, correct?
Yeah, Ram. Like a little bit I have.
Little bit we have. So we have Saif, Satish, and Chirag. Okay. Each one at different levels. So Naveen, are there any more people joining or only 3 of us?
Yeah, actually Rajesh has to join, but there is some storm at his location. Okay.
Rajesh is from US?
Yeah, US. Okay. Last when we had a demo session, he joined, right? Yeah, same
Correct,
person.
correct. So I have noted down he has no SAP experience. No problem. So Rajesh also may join from next class, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, total we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Ram, I have a small query.
Go ahead.
So few of my friends suggested to start with SAP MM. So I mean, I don't know how to take it. So I thought SAP TM will be relevant to my field. That is why I have taken this one. So my pathway is clear, I think.
So is it Satish speaking?
Yeah.
So Satish, I can tell you one thing. You see, you can start anywhere. I have seen different kinds of people who had a lot of experience in ABAP. The technical guys moved into TM directly without any functional experience. I have seen those guys and they have become successful. But having knowledge of MM and SD would definitely help because TM is heavily depending upon MM in the later portion of settlement. And the original documents, I mean, the documents originating from ECC are coming from SD and MM mainly.
Okay.
Okay, but it is not so difficult. Okay, when you know, if you know how to create a simple purchase order or how to create a simple sales delivery and how to create sales order and how to create a outbound delivery for that or inbound delivery for a purchase order, then that should be enough, I believe. Okay.
Understood.
I will teach you all that the basic concepts when we go one by one. Okay, it's not a big deal.
Thank you.
No problem at all. Okay, so we have a group which do not have any TM experience, little bit of SAP experience. Okay, so let me try to share my screen and try to explain the SAP architecture and also try to log into Fury and try to show how it looks like. Okay. Give me a minute. I'm going to share my screen. And TM is not so difficult, guys. Okay. You don't have to worry too much. If you can have commitment and you're able to put some effort, then there is no problem. Okay. Okay, let me share my screen. Mm. Okay, team, can you see my screen?
Yes, done.
See, Satish?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
What about Chirag, Saif?
Yes, I can see the screen.
Okay, let me close this. So when you log in, are you able to load SAP onto your systems?
Ram, we haven't provided server details yet. Okay, we'll provide them. Okay, before
Okay,
next
okay.
session, we'll provide them. Okay.
Okay, perfect. No issues. Okay, so when you log in, when you have actually downloaded the system or other stuff, the first screen looks like this. Okay. How many people are familiar with this screen?
I am familiar with it.
Okay. So the other two people, you guys do not know the screen at all.
Yeah,
So basically, try to note down two important T codes. Okay. One is called ME23N. Okay. So ME23N is nothing but your display of purchase order. And there is another thing also. I'll tell you. If you go to the favorite, right click. Okay. There is a thing called insert transaction. There you can always type your regularly used transaction codes. Okay. Okay. Other thing what you can load here is VA03. VA03 is display of sales order. Okay. Then you can add like VL03N. This is display of outbound delivery. Okay. I'm just giving some of them. Don't get overwhelmed with this, all this. Okay. So then VL33N. This is display of inbound delivery. So basically we talked about purchase order, sales order, and outbound delivery for the sales order, the inbound delivery for the purchase order. So let me explain briefly. So if I go to my Excel sheet, so I'll try to explain at the very high level. Okay. So SAP is an ERP system. Okay. It's enterprise resource planning. So in that we have a lot of softwares in the market. Like SAP is one of the largest one. Then we have Oracle and other stuff. So in this SAP, we have so many versions. It started with R1, R2, R3, so on and so forth. Then it was connected into ECC. In the recent past, SAP introduced as S4HANA. This is the new latest technology they have introduced around 10 years back. Okay. In S4HANA, we have different versions. Like for example, 1709, 1909, 2020, 2022. The latest is 2023. Okay. How do you find out this? When you go to your system, okay, you can go to system. Okay. If you click on status, it will give you what's the thing we are using. Okay. It will give all the details, what we are using, everything it gives. Like you can see, S4HANA 23. Okay. Different details it will give. Since we are on embedded, our TM also on S4HANA. Okay. Then So this is the current version. Okay, this is the current version, but you may find different clients on different platforms. Okay, this is the current version SAP is offering, but as far as I know there are very less clients, our customers on this software. There are many on 2022, 2020, and some are on ECC also. So when it was in ECC, how the TM is integrated? So TM was sitting on a separate box until ECC. Separate box means separate server, whatever. Okay, that is called SCM server, supply chain management. In supply chain management, we used to have EWM, TM, and SRM, a lot of other stuff. So these are like sitting in a, like for example, this is ECC. Okay, this is ECC box. Let's assume. So here sits ECC. Then here we have TM on. Let's put SCM. In this we have TM. So this was a kind of old technology. Now this has been like replaced with S4HANA. But let's see. But sometimes you see these clients also in the market because they are converting from ECC to S4HANA. So there is a connection between these. Since they are separate boxes, we need connection between these two, going back and forth with RFC technology. The RFC means nothing but remote function calls. With the remote function calls, the purchase order and sales order, other master data will flow from here to here. Then we have different documents getting created in TM, like freight order, forwarding order, freight settlement document. Many documents gets created here. So when they gets created, for example, if you have a document called settlement management document, okay, freight settlement, FSD, which is nothing but the document name is freight settlement document. The purpose of this document is to take, and there is a before document which is called FO. It's called freight order. Okay, freight order will have all the charges. Then FSD will take the charges and try to post a document, meaning that it is going to create a BAPI by means of which the data will be sent to the backend. The backend means module, basically. So when it goes to module, in the sidecar, see for example so it goes here and creates a purchase order, because to pay the vendor we need a purchase order, and we have a service entry sheet, so on and so forth, which gets automatically created. Okay, this used to happen in sidecar. We used to call, like in a common language, sidecar technology, sidecar. Okay, but in the current world we do have all S4HANA. It is always preferential to work on S4HANA because we have all different words: 1709, 1909, 2020, 2022, and 2023. Okay, so the differences between these two are not much. There is very small differences. They are trying to fix a lot of bugs in TM. There are a lot of bugs initially. Mostly they have fixed all of the bugs right now. So now a lot of improvement is happening on the TM module. Okay, I would like to give a pause here. Let me know you have any doubts. Okay.
I have a doubt, Ram.
Yeah, go ahead.
As you mentioned about the sidecar, so like, are we going to discuss about the ECC architecture, like for a reference, because there are so many clients like on ECC right now, so
Yeah,
in the market.
understand, but there is not much difference from technology wise. Who is speaking here?
This is Chirag actually.
Chirag, you see, there is not much difference. I mean, the functionality wise, both are same. Okay, you have the freight order, you have the FSD, every functionality is same. Okay. The only thing is sidecar, almost it is not existing anymore. Even if it exists, nobody is going to implement as a fresh or new. Okay, they are converting ECC to S4HANA. And
Yes.
I have not seen any clients starting on ECC right now. Okay, so even if you go on a support role, so it's not so difficult. Okay, basically when support role means everything is implemented. You go there and try to look at the system, like troubleshooting. Okay, so fundamentally you should be able to understand what are the methods, what scenarios, how the flow works, what are the key parameters in TM, how to troubleshoot when you go on a project, how to answer their questions. So that is the first thing. This training basically teaches all these things: the methods, the processes, the configuration, the master data, transactions, how the Fury works. Okay.
Okay.
But I would be supporting you guys. No issues. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Satish, Saif, any other questions you have?
All good, all good.
I have one more
So,
question here, Ram.
who, Chirag?
Yes, this is Chirag.
Yeah, go ahead, Chirag.
What is the difference between the LE and the TM actually module, logistics execution and the transport management?
Logistics execution is basically, it was in ECC. Okay, when I did a project long time back in 2013. So in that project, at the time, TRTM was not there, or like in the basic phases. So it is called actually LETRA. So in ECC world, we have like LETRA, meaning logistics execution transportation management, used to call. Okay, basically what it does is it is totally sits in your sales module. Okay, in sales module we have like sales order. You have shipment. Okay, and you have shipping document. You have a costing document. So basically everything was being done here in SD itself, but with a limited scope. But what SAP has done is they moved LETRA. I mean, all this will be here, but they moved shipping document and costing to TM, where you have like detailed information available.
Okay.
Because LETRA worked on it. If you have to create a shipping document, we had to struggle a lot. Like you have to create these different stages, and the system was in ECC, so which was not so friendly. But in the Fury world, you have a lot of feel-free type of documentation. You can drag and drop. A lot of functionalities are there. Okay, which you can't do in ECC world. I mean, transaction.
Okay.
Other major difference between TM and other modules is in, for example, EWM. EWM, if you do not know how to go into Fury, still you can survive. But in TM, most of the work you do in Fury only. I mean, as a consultant, we go and do master data and configuration back in S4HANA. But most of our work, creation of documents and troubleshooting, selection profiles, a lot of stuff we do in Fury only. So
So
that is the
you mean
biggest
the
difference.
transactional process will be done on the Fiori side and the configuration on the SPRO. Is that correct?
Configuration is same, SPRO, correct. But whereas the transaction, EWM, you can do, you can use Fury as well as you can use backend ECC or S4HANA. But TM, there is no way you can create a transaction document in ECC. Okay.
So there are no T codes for TM at this moment, right?
No, there are no T codes. There are no T codes by which you can go into the Fury document. Okay. Let me quickly show how that looks like. Okay. So let me close this. So the other T code, this is the one. So it is /UI2/FLP. FLP is floor plan manager. So that is a short code. So if
Ram,
you
I
click on,
guess, can you please hold on because your screen is loading late, or else there is some other screen if it is connected, so we can't see.
Can't see it? Okay, let's wait. I'm in the basic screen of SAP.
That I can see now. Yeah.
I can see it. Okay. So if you click on this T code, I already clicked on it. So you can open this one. Where is that gone? Okay. Here. So mine is like Apple laptop. So it will be like on the Safari. So if you click on that, you will end up here in the home. Then you go to transportation management. Okay.
You went through your bookmark, is that correct?
I didn't go through bookmark. I went to the T code. So this is the T code you have to use. Okay.
Okay, got it.
So once you are inside, you can always try to put a bookmark. But generally, we always try to go from here. Sometimes the web browser is not going to support. Okay, for the training purpose, let us do this. Okay. Put this /UI2/FLP. Okay. So here, this is a beautiful piece. Okay. Here you can configure all this. Like you have create road freight order. Forwarding order is different piece, and forwarding quotation. And there are a lot of things here. We can also create for, I will slowly cover this one by one. Okay. Otherwise it will be like overwhelming for you guys. Okay.
Yep.
So here, what you can do is you can go here and edit. It should be current home page. Let's see. Let's current. So here you can see add section, or you can do like add a different one here. Add a tile. So for example, if I want to add transportation cockpit as a tile, I go here and try to search it. Once it loads, you can type here. So for example, you type in cockpit. Okay.
Sorry, correct me here. So
Yeah.
is this an browser on which we are seeing the Fury screens?
It is always a browser.
Yeah, I mean, so behind that UI/T code, so it there is an hyperlink which redirects us to this Fury screen. Is that correct?
Correct. I mean, it's all based on security things. Let's not go there. Okay. How it works, that's a different topic altogether. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
So here, transportation net, we want transportation cockpit. So click on the plus sign. So it is added. Now, if you go back and click on SAP screen, go to transportation management, you can see the transportation cockpit here. So like this, you can add the tiles. This is a Fury, and this is the tiles. You can keep adding these tiles so that on a click of a button, it is going to launch the screen. Okay, nothing is there. We have to create one by one. You have to create all these different selection profiles. So basically, with all this input, it is going to find out what kind of display user needs. So once you put that, then we can move on. I'm not going to cover this in the first class. Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will be too much overwhelming. So when we talk about the sidecar, other stuff, there are something else also. So basically, there are two main scenarios in TM. One is a shipper scenario, and second one is LSP scenario. LSP is logistics services provider. So what is logistics provider? Something like FedEx or USP or Canada Pacific train thing, or Union Pacific. So these are some of the clients who has implemented LSP scenarios. So LSP scenario means you are the guy who has a lot of fleet. Okay, we have a Satish, you might be knowing, correct? In Blue Dot, how it works. So like Blue Dot is an example of LSP scenario. So basically in LSP scenario, what it does is you get the orders from different clients. For example, okay, let's give an example here. So here is a manufacturing facility. number one. Okay. So basically, it's a factory where we are going to produce the goods. Okay. And this is the guy, for example, FedEx. So when you implement SAP here, we implement shipper scenario. But when we implement SAP here, TM, it becomes LSP scenario. Okay. So here, manufacturing scenario, this is shipper scenario, how it is. You produce the components or finished product based upon your raw material or semi-finished material, all that. Use it and ultimately you made like finished product. Okay. So once you do that, then you have to move it. There are two things happening. For example, there is raw material and finished. So raw material you have to get from different vendors. Vendors are going to supply this. And finished product, we are going to send it to customers. Okay. So this whole process, how we are going to get the raw material from vendor through different trucks or ocean or various methods or air, train, same thing applies here. So that is the whole process which we are doing in a shipper scenario. But in case of LSP scenario, FedEx receives orders from this manufacturer saying that, okay, move this container from point A to point B. So in LSP scenario, what we do here is we create a forwarding order which has all the details from this point to this point, how we are moving. Then from this point onwards, if we have their own resources, they are going to use them, or it will go back again to shipper scenario where we are going to subcontract the whole shipment to third party. Okay. So that's a basic difference. So in LSP scenario, what we are going to do is we are going to integrate this LSP scenario into SD, by means of which we are going to create sales order and invoice billing to the customer. So that is the difference between, in case of shipper scenario, what happens? It goes into MM for FSD. In case of FSD, so it goes into purchase order. It creates a purchase order. Then it creates a service entry sheet, which are automatic, followed by invoice verification. And next it should be settlement management document, which is basically a cost distribution document. Okay. So at the high level, these are the things. Okay. So let me give a pause here. Are you guys comfortable catching with me, or you want me to slow down?
It's fine. You're good.
You're doing good, but keep asking questions. Okay, that's the way you're going to clear your doubts.
I have one doubt here. Ram.
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned about LSP scenarios. So in LSP, will there be any integration with SD or the MM part, or if they are not like for LSP, the sales order would be for they are be receiving from their vendor, right, over there?
No, the forwarding order, you see, the forwarding order you can create manually, or through an interface we can create the forwarding orders. It is followed by the forwarding quotation and forwarding order. Okay, so there is nothing coming from sales order.
Okay. Same like how they create the purchase order in the manufacturing unit. So they will be just creating a forwarding order over there, right?
Like in general, they will start from scratch. Okay.
Okay.
Or it will start with like in MM, you have purchase order. Sometimes it is preceded by the purchasing requisition. Same thing like you have a forwarding quotation, for example. If you look at here, let me go back. So if you look at here, create forwarding quotation, forwarding order. So this is kind of like you can see it's a purchasing requisition. This is a purchase order, something like that.
Oh,
Not
okay, okay.
exactly similar way. Okay.
Yeah.
So in case of MM scenario, shipper scenario, there is a MM interaction, which is like creation of purchase order, service entry sheet, all that.
Okay.
Ram, I have
Yeah,
one
go ahead.
question. In LSP scenario, FSG is not created.
Sorry, who is speaking?
Seth.
Yes, Safe, go ahead.
So in LSP scenario, FSG is not created.
LSP scenario, FSD is not created, you're right. But in sometimes what happens, if you, this is what have highlighted here. So sometimes if you don't have resources, then you have to subcontract shipment to third party. So the subcontracting portion, this falls into shipper scenario again. So with the forwarding order, what happens with the forwarding order? A corresponding FU gets created, freight unit, okay? Then freight unit is converted into FO, then FSD goes into FSD, same process. Because when you subcontract a third party vendor because you have to pay them ultimately, correct? So in LSP scenario, I have implemented LSP scenario at a couple of places. When you have LSP scenario, definitely you will have a shipper scenario also attached. But the reverse is not correct. When you have shipper scenario, 99% LSP won't be there because this works as independent. Okay.
So like subcontracting third party means like it will go to other other parties. They will create that freight order.
Basically, subcontracting means if you don't have your own resources. Okay, if you don't have your own resources, then let's explain that. For example, subcontracting or tendering. It also can be called as tendering. What is this basically from the functional point of view? For example, you have to move this from point A to point B. Okay, you may have resources which already engaged, or you don't have resources at all. Okay, basically, no resources at this point of time. Then, but you need to move this from point A to point B. How you are going to move? So in this time, you have to go to you are going to subcontract this shipment to outside third party carrier. So they will help us in moving this shipment from point A to point B. Okay. Further, there are various different methods. You can do tendering. In tendering, you have like a lot of things like peer-to-peer tendering. And basically, it is like in India, how it happens, like you open a tender, okay? You get a lot of bids. In the bids, people say, I'm going to move it like $100, $200, $150. So based upon that, the user is going to select based on various parameters, like what is the cost, quality, and who is going to submit first. So based upon that, he's going to select. So that is the overall subcontracting process. Okay. Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. So next, let's move on. Maybe from next class onwards, I'll try to use the slides because we have people who want to understand SAP itself. I'm trying to use this kind of whiteboard. Okay. Because if I jump into the PowerPoint, which is like quite elaborative, but it is too detailed also. It will be difficult. Okay. So let me quickly jump into SAP screen. And non-SAP guys, please ask me questions if you have any doubts. So basically, if you look at here, this is a user menu. Okay. Then there is something called SAP menu. If I click on SAP menu, it's going to change like this. So you can create your own SAP user menu by having different favorites. Otherwise, other way of doing here is, for example, if I want to go into ME23N, the display of purchase order, how can I go? The normal process is you go to logistics. Okay. Then you see there are different modules: plant maintenance, production, last execution, what we're talking about, sales and distribution, materials management. Various modules are here. So we need to go into materials management. Okay, then you go to purchasing. Then we have purchase order, purchase request. Sometimes you create a purchase requisition to support a purchase order. Okay, from here, see, this is the ME21 is the creation of purchase order. ME23 is N is display. 22 is change. So just keep in mind, if it is 1, that is creation, 2 is change, 3 is display. Okay, you can always go, if you don't know, you can always go here and try to click on this. It does the same thing as the favorites. Okay, let me explain a little bit on the purchase order screen here. So please ask questions if you do not know any part here. Okay, this is very detailed thing, for example. So it has different sections. So there's something called header section here. Okay, in header also we have different sections here. Delivery / invoice, which contains a lot of details. What are the payment terms? What is the currency? What is the exchange rate? Different aspects. So that's the beauty of SAP. In each tab, you have different information and useful information, and which can be linked to the next document. Then we have conditions. Conditions is nothing but how the freight charge is getting calculated. It gets calculated at the header level as well as the item level also. If you look at item level, there is also conditions. So the header level means which applies to all the line items. If there are 100 line items, to apply the conditions or whatever information, you put them into header. But if you want to have some information at the item level, then you go here and put the information. You can see line 1. You can move between line 1 to 100 and put different information. Okay, so that is how a purchase order looks like. Here also you can maintain different text. What kind of text you want to maintain, header text, and which will be printed on your purchase order, which ultimately being sent to the vendor. And what is the address of the vendor? Okay. And what kind of communication we are going to use? Different partner roles, partner schemas. So, but we are not going to learn about here. Okay. Then if there is an additional data, ARC data means basically there is something called purchase ARC and purchasing group and company code, which are very much required in to create a purchase order. Basically, if there is a company code so and so 1710, generally you have a purchasing ARC for the company code. And within the company code, within the purchase ARC, you have different purchasing. Purchasing means different people. It could be different people or different subcategories of people. Like in a department, there could be purchasing department, there could be sales department. They have different kind of purchase orders. For them, for example, purchasing group may have different, like here you can see 001, 1, 3, so many different groups you can create. Okay, once we create this, then we are going to send it to a vendor. Then after that, you can go to the purchase order history and see how this is received. Okay. EC 161 moment. This is something called moment type in SAP we use. Moment type is nothing but how we are going to capture in inventory management. Like one point to other point, how we are moving. 161 moment type is basically the return to vendor moment type. Okay. But if it is 101 movement type, then it is a goods receipt movement type. So you are receiving the goods into the facility. Okay.
Hi Ram.
Yeah.
Chiragi. Will this movement type integrate with TM by any chance?
No, there is a
Like
movement type. No, this movement type is exclusively for the backend.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you take a drop down here, I don't know if this drop down works or not. Let's see.
No, I mean, I was just asking, like, inventory management will be integrated with TM or just the procurement, like PO and the invoice verification?
There is no integration between inventory management and TM. Okay. So, for example, if I go here, this is a movement type. This is a material document. Okay. So these are different movement types, starting with 101, which is goods receipt. 162 is the reverse. Reverse basically sending returns to vendor. 102 is the cancellation, so on and so forth. So basically, what I was trying to say is a purchase order is generally followed by a goods receipt, or it is followed by an inbound delivery document based on which GR is created, goods receipt is created. Okay. So that's about this part, like how our SAP ECC or S4HANA looks. If you look at here, you can see the ticket. If you don't know which screen you are in, you can look at here. It says ME23N. And also it gives a lot of other, what system, what client, who is the user, what program is being used, so on and so forth. Okay. Another important piece here is, so there is a T code called SPRO, which is unique for all the modules. If you go to SPRO means you are going to, basically you are configuring the system. To configure the system, you need to use SPRO as a consultant. So if you look down, there is something called transportation management. This is the place where we do a lot of configuration items. Okay, I'm not going to go into that. Okay, since this is first class. So here we are going to have basic functions, integration, how the settlement works, how it is integrated to our MM side to create a purchase order, service entry sheet, and how it is integrated with for different documents. For example, logistic integration. And basically, we need to look at internal because we are not on sidecar. It is always internal. And internally, you see how you are going to integrate sales documents, okay, purchase documents, delivery documents. Basically, these are the three main documents which we will try to integrate to TM. So these documents are originated from ECC or S4HANA, with the configuration, we are going to create the first document in TM, which is called freight unit. The freight unit will have all the information which is residing in ECC. So that is the basic first unit or first T code, first transaction document which is created in TM side. For example, if you go here, let's look at any freight unit. So other important thing is you can have work list. Okay, for example, work list is a very important thing. If you go here, like how I edit current page. Okay, like you adding tile and type work list. So there are various work lists. So we have freight booking work list, freight order work list, service order work list. Then there should be freight unit work list. Where is freight unit? Freight order, service orders, freight unit work list. Okay, these are very important work list. We will be working on a continuous basis. So freight order work list, okay? Freight unit work list. If you go inside, right now there are no freight units. I think it's created in the system. So, okay, some freight units are there. So this is the first document created from ECC or S4HANA. When we have some document created, if it is properly configured and integrated, it will create a document like this. Okay. You can always sort this descending order. There are various things you can do. You can have your own queries. There are a lot of things I'll keep teaching you guys, okay? For example, if you look at this document, I mean, I think the authorization is not there. Can you please look into this?
I'll check on that part. Okay, just take the screenshot and send me. I'll check on.
So this is basically talking about some authorization issue. Naveen is going to fix that, okay? I'm going to send it later. So once we go into that, basically we'll understand how that looks like the freight unit. Let's look at the freight order. It allows us freight order work list. This is the freight order work list, okay? So it's still loading. Okay, if you look at here, from the TM perspective, freight order is, it can be a road freight order or it can be a rail freight order. Okay, you see here, road freight orders, and rail freight orders. Also in TM, when you say freight booking, the meaning of freight booking is it is a ocean freight booking or an air freight booking. Okay, so let's try to open one of these. Yeah, this one also no authorization. I mean, okay, once we get the authorization, I'm going to show all these different documents. Okay. Same thing like rail freight orders. For example, if you want to create like this, you can create your own queries, define new queries, because these are like standard queries given by SAP TM. But you can always create your own queries, define new queries. So you can have a template, freight order. You can take this template. Okay. So you can take all road freight order. There's a template we are using as a template here. Click on next. Okay. Here you can always see that. For example, I want to see the freight orders created, for example. So just keep in mind, guys, this is a test system. Okay. When you go to the client, you will get a beautiful working system. Okay. Here we are trying to give like overview of, the basic information here. Okay. So for example, I want to say something is created between April 1st to today. So you can have your own queries. And I want to see these purchase order, these freight orders created between this period. Similarly, you can have a lot of other filters also. So by doing that, you don't have to go back and forth to find out the relevant information. Okay, here you can put a new query. For example, 101, right? Order period, like April to May. You can type whatever you want. And if you want to create a new category, you can always create a new category. So you can put like new queries for training. Click OK, finish. Okay, now you can see new queries for training. I have one query here sitting already. That is default already selected. Okay, like that you can create multiple queries. So that saves a lot of time. When you go into the office in the morning, this will be already created, like based upon various parameters. Okay, so let me explain a little bit on how the TM architecture looks like. So as I mentioned, the first and foremost document gets created in TM is Freight unit. So what is the starting point for Freight unit? The Freight unit comes from different documents from S4HANA. It could be SO, it could be OBD, outbound delivery, or IBD, inbound delivery, or a purchase order, or an STO, or return PO, or return sales order. Okay, or it can be subcontracting, PO. So these are like various starting documents from ECC or S4HANA, which will end up in a Freight unit. Okay, so this takes all the information from this document and try to capture in all the information into this component, which is called Freight unit. Also, Freight unit is the smallest element which can be transported throughout the shipment. So that's a kind of small definition here. So once you have different Freight units sitting in the system, then the next thing comes is how you are going. This is like coming in inbound documents. Okay, then we are going to go to the stage called planning. Planning happens in TM by Freight order. So basically, when we get the access, I'll show you how to go into the cockpit. So once you have the cockpit, there is an important tool in TM. So let's put transportation cockpit. So generally, it will have like 4 quadrants. Okay. The 4 quadrants we have like this is one quadrant. This is one quadrant. This is another quadrant. So basically, you have Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Okay, Q1 will have all the Freight units and their stages. Okay, then Q3 will have all the resources. So in TM terminology, the resources means it could be a truck, it could be anything by which you can move the load or shipment. Okay, in Q2 you have the planned documents, which are nothing but Freight orders, Freight bookings. Okay, generally we don't focus Q4 much. Basically, we can have a lot of maps here and load planning capabilities. Okay, so this is how your transportation cockpit looks like. So generally, when you create a sales order or purchase order, it ends up here with the Freight unit. You select Freight unit. Okay, then you select a particular resource, and there is a button called assign Freight units. Okay, so when you click on this after selecting these two, it will end up creating a freight order or freight booking based upon that. Okay, that is simplest process. Otherwise, you can do manually also. You can go to the freight unit, or you can go to the freight order creation, for example. You go here. There is something called create freight order. Create road freight order. So what you can do is you can go to the freight order and take down what is the, for example, ZF41 with subcontracting. You click on that. It's going to pull up different information, like a skeletal kind of a freight order. So you have the freight order here. So what generally we do here, we go to the items. I'm telling how manually you can create a freight order without the cockpit. The suggested way is to go to the cockpit, but there are sometimes it is difficult. So what you can do is we can go here and insert freight units based upon freight unit ID. You just go here and type in the freight unit number, then it is assigned to this particular freight order. Okay, that is how it works. So once we have this, then we have the planning, which is nothing but transportation. You can do it with transporting cockpit, or you can do it with manual help also. Manually also you can create a freight order. And freight order, it could be a freight order, it could be a flight booking also. Okay. So once we created that, there is a lot of information we have to fill in. Who is a carrier? What is the cost? He's going to. What is the price? What is the handling unit? What is the freight charge types? Different information. Okay. Once we have that freight order created, mean the planning is completed. Planning is completed. Then the next step is, once the planning is done, then the next step is execution. So what is execution? Basically, when you have EWM which is integrated, you send loading instructions to EWM. So basically, you are sending all the information. What is the truck, from where to where it is going, how much is the load, how much is the capacity, is it LTL, FTL, all the information is being sent to EWM, a document called, a method called LDAP. With the LDAP, it goes to EWM. From EWM, it creates in EWM, it creates a TU. That's nothing but transportation unit, which is nothing but TU. Then they will consume the TU in EWM and process, and the truck goes off. Then in the execution part also, we can send a lot of information to vendors, subcontractors, or LBN. Various methods are there. We can use PPF action to send different documents, different emails. And also we can get, for example, the first thing is sending different outputs to where it could be sent to a carrier, or it could be sent to LBN or ship ERP, various things. Okay, you can send. Then after that, there are so many events. So event capturing. So basically, we are telling about, okay, the truck already left, left the factory, then reached customer. Lot of things we can capture those events with the help of LBN. Okay, that part comes into execution. Then the third part in TM is freight settlement. Okay, in the freight settlement, basically what we are saying is, if it is going to cost $1,000 to move this shipment from point A to point B, okay, the moment is done, the cargo is arrived at the customer. Now we have to pay the vendor. So to pay the vendor, we have the freight settlement. It is approved. Freight settlement document. So we have all the confirmation. Then it will be, we are going to create FSD create. and FSD post. So what happens? Generally, we do this by a batch job. And at emergency, we can also do it manually. Or we can do manual creation of manual create. Okay, what happens after this? It is going to create in S4HANA 2 documents. One is purchase order. Basically, it's a service purchase order. Okay. Then we have service entry sheet. Because there is no actually, we are paying the vendor. We are not paying for the goods, we are paying for the services. So that is the reason system creates service PO and service entry sheet. Okay. Once these are done, because of system configuring, there is other document which used to be called as ABD in earlier days. Now it is called settlement management document. Okay, this is ABD means agency business document. So this was part of ECC world. This is in S4HANA. So basically what it is a nothing but cost distribution document. Okay. So by simply saying, for example, if I have a purchase order, material purchase order, I am getting like material A. I'm getting material A with 1 each. Okay. So the cost of this is $1,000, for example. Okay. But to move this from the vendor to my facility, the freight cost is $100. So what it is happening? So the total cost here is 1100, correct? So this is what this document does. So it is going to get this $100. It is going to distribute the number of items in purchase order proportionately, and it is going to affect the moving average standard price or moving average price on the material master. So that is how the cost distribution happens in TM. Okay.
It will capture the entire cost.
You are breaking.
It will capture the entire cost, right?
Yeah. I mean, anyway, that first material document, this is captured by Migo. It goes into the material master with different material documents created. But the freight cost will be added through TM. Okay. So this component on after the FSD creation and successful SMD creation, which is nothing but SMD here. So after SMD creation, I will give a T code if you are interested. So the T code for SMD is WLFLTM2. Okay. Overview of cost distribution document. So what I have seen is, if you properly explain to the client will be interested in looking into the documents. So if you run this, you see these are the SMDs created in system. So if you open any document, you can see it. This is a beautiful functionality in TM, which is actually connected to backend. So if you look at here, it will tell you how the cost is being distributed. If you look at basic data, double click on this, go to basic data B. It will give you beautifully how this document is getting created. There is a sales document. There is a freight order. Okay. There is a freight settlement document. Okay. There's again another freight order. So it will give you all the details. From here itself, you can click on this, it will open this particular document. Okay. So that is a little bit about SMD, but I'm going to go in deep all these things. Okay. So that is the overall structure of TM. Any other questions or doubts on this detailed explanation of TM?
Small basic doubt actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the basic, what is the basic role for SAP TM consultant?
Who is asking this question?
Satish.
Satish. Okay, so you don't have it. So as I told you, so let me back up a little bit. So SAP is a software system. Okay, so SAP is created generally for generic requirements. Okay, so it comes with out-of-box solution, but the out-of-box solution is not good for any client. Okay, so there TM consultant like you and me will come in. We'll try to, like I was showing this SPRO, correct? We go to this particular T code, try to create various org structures in the system, okay, and try to configure the system basically. That is the main role of a SAP consultant. Forget about TM guy. So you go to SPRO, create different org structures like purchasing org, sales org, different things. As a sales, we talk to the client. Like you asked, what is the role of the TM guy or SAP consultant? Generally, we go to the client. When we go there, once you get the access, you talk to the client, because SAP consultant job is not only configuring. Hello, was there a question? Hello.
Go ahead, Ram. Go ahead.
So basically, so as the SAP consultant, you go to them, and there are a lot of things like you have a blueprint session, you talk to the client and try to find out what are the requirements, try to educate them if re-engineering is required. Once you have all that information in hand, then you will try to configure the system. If there is a gap between the configuration and the user requirement, then something called RISE-UP W objects. So let me also put this here. So for example, you have you have SAP standard box. SAP box is here. Okay. You talk to the client. Client say that client requirement. Okay. Client requirement. How you are going to cater the client requirements? Number one is the basic system configuration. Configuration is nothing but you are like tuning some of the keys basically in the system. Okay, like creation of purchase order, creation of freight orders, how we are going to create, what is the number range, different aspects. Then there is a gap. What client is asking, what system is providing. So the gap will be served by something called RISE-FW. RISE-FW means report, interface, conversion, enhancement. And the last one is workflow. This is form, workflow. So basically, these are the things where we get the help from our friends, the technical team, ABAP team. Okay. The client will say, okay, I want a report to send to the carrier. So whatever the standard report in the system that is not good for the client. Then we'll take the requirements. What we create is something called FSD, functional specification document, which again the technical guy will create technical specification document. Okay. Then ABAP guy, based upon the FSD, is going to code the program. Then as a functional guy, we are going to test it. Does it make sense?
Yeah, clear. Ram.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we are at the time right now. Do you have any further questions?
Can we just go briefly for the like what are the topics we'll be covering in the course curriculum?
We have different topics actually, A to Z. There are a lot of topics. I'm going to go through that. Okay. Next class,
Okay.
I'm going to go to each topic. I don't want to go to this class in this class because it will be too much overwhelming. So basically, the entire course is going to cover these basic concepts. Okay.
Okay. And are we going to work on the topic uh, business network for that one BN4L? Business network for logistics. Is
LBN. No, LBN is
Yeah.
not covered in this topic. LBN is separate course altogether. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because it needs a lot of testing, and I don't know whether we have the server for LBN. So you're talking about this BN. So LBN needs separate network, and that's altogether different training. Okay. So
Okay.
this is about kind of introduction. I'm going to go through each one of the topics in the next classes. Okay. Now I'm going to, yeah, go
For
ahead.
ECC system, ECC integration with TM, do we use external TM component? We should in SPRO.
Correct. That's right. In the SPRO, we're going to go for external, not the internal.
ECC.
Yeah. EC, it's not ECC. It is if you have a separate sidecar. Okay. So S4HANA only has embedded. If you have ECC, you have to have that integration with external system. For example, here logistic integration, you have to go for external. Okay.
And one more thing, this like in my process, after the creation of F4 freight order, we create the OBD. So like you told, like from OBD also you can directly create the freight unit. Is it possible?
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of requirements. I mean, Tushar, lot of requirements from different clients. In my previous client also, they want to create OBD based upon once the freight order is created. So that is a standard process. Okay, actually, okay. You create the freight order. From there, you create a delivery automatically. Okay. So, for example, if you go into this screen, there is a button to create freight order. Okay. In this, there is a follow up or something. Create deliveries. Okay. When you click on this, it is going to create OBD.
No, in that Excel you told like from OBD you can directly create the freight unit.
Correct. There are two ways of integration. Okay. Let me go here. So two ways of integration is either you can do like the integration based from sales order. Okay. So you can do sales order integration. Or you can do delivery integration. There are so many clients who does delivery integration and so many clients who did sales order integration. Sales order integration means you get lot of time to plan your shipment. Okay, because sales orders gets created much in advance. So you get beautiful time so that you can negotiate with the vendors, carriers, so you can get a better rate. But when it is a delivery integration, you don't have too much of a window there to plan. Okay. So if it is sales order integration, what happens? You have a FU, you have FO, then you create OBD from
Can you hear me now?
Ram, we can't hear you. It is not audible, right?
Oh yeah. Can you guys audible now? Am I audible?
Yeah, now you are
Yes, sir.
audible.
Okay, perfect. So we are going to conclude the training as of today. We'll meet in our next class. Okay, most probably that next class would be on Tuesday. Okay, Naveen is going to inform. And let me know also what is the pace we are moving. You want to slow down or you want to pick the speed up? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, team. Have a good morning, good evening.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Sure.